Hi, this is Kristen from Team C. Today, Ritesh, Gabby, Rob, Randy, and I will walk you through our Managed by Q case study project. As a quick outline, I will walk through the overview and the goals and strategy slides. Then I will pass it over to Rob to go through the phase one actions. Ritesh will then go over the phase one findings, and Randy will discuss the phase two action plan. Then Gabby will wrap us up with an overall conclusion at the end of the presentation. So Managed by Q, or Q as it's called for short, is an on-demand cleaning startup that's more than just a cleaning service to its customers. Q is dedicated to providing its customers with not only clean windows and floors, but with whatever they need to manage their physical space. Currently, Q has office locations in New York, Chicago, and San Francisco. And the company recently raised $15 million in a Series A round, and now the CEO, Dan Teeran, wishes to expand the company. There are three outstanding questions that go along with this expansion. First, should Q focus on acquiring more customers within their existing markets? Second, should they increase revenue from existing customers by offering additional services? Or third, should they expand into new markets altogether? So as believed by Marcus Lemonis from the hit reality TV show The Profit, a successful business needs to manage their three Ps: people, process, and product. Our overarching goal here is to enhance these three pillars within the Q organization to help them enhance their market presence, build a stronger team that delivers a consistent product, and increase their customer engagement by streamlining existing processes through leveraging technology. We strongly believe that this will help us drive positive results that will enable Q to quickly expand in new markets while consistently increasing their profit margins. Currently, as mentioned on the overview slide, Managed by Q is an on-demand service company offering a fully transparent way to manage the physical space of an office, including cleaning, maintenance, and office supply orders. The provider and the customer both share an iPad that has a dashboard showing tasks specifically that have been requested, and then also showing the tasks once they have been completed. Customers can request maintenance through the iPad, and also operators can suggest that maintenance work be done, something as simple as changing a light bulb or something along those lines. The task list can also include photos to specify how a customer would like a task done, if it is something that is very specific. And then customers can also use the iPad to order office supplies. So Managed by Q needs to develop a holistic execution strategy that can be implemented at all the existing locations as well as new locations to further the company growth. This will be a templated approach to new business, as well as a standardization approach to existing business. The team will benefit greatly from streamlining their operations strategies between the different offices if they do something like this. Success for the three pillars will be measured by three specific goals. First, for product, Q will look for a 40% increase of new clients and a decrease of attrition of existing clients by 5%. For people, Q will look to drive up customer satisfaction to 95% and drive down employee churn by 3%. Just through developing and implementing a standard training workshop used universally throughout the company. This will continue to be an asset as Q expands within existing markets and grows into new markets as well. For process, Q will look to increase customer feedback from 20% to 50% and increase utilization of the cleaning operator to 90% by transitioning off of the iPad and onto an app-based interactive system by the year 2024. So for this, to move forward, Managed by Q will move through a two-phased approach. The first phase will include researching, monitoring, and streamlining the three pillars of product, people, and process. And then after that phase is complete, Q will move into a second phase where they will take the learnings from phase one to inform how they will refine and control the strategy moving forward. So now I will pass the presentation over to Rob to deep dive into phase one.
Hello, my name is Rob DiMaggio, and this is for Group C. In this video, I'll be discussing phase one goals for Q that discuss people, process, and product. So in part one, we discuss product. We have two different goals here. One is to determine tier one city services, so larger cities, and then compare that to potential going out to tier two city services, so growth opportunity outside of the larger cities. In addition, we looked at understanding Q's competitors and understanding the profit margin between what services cost and what they're actually sold for so that we could leverage Q's position and increase market share. So we went through and kind of went through the pros and cons of each of these goals. I think an overlaying theme here is long-term capacity planning and demand planning. So reaching out to growth opportunities and growth environments, what does that look like for capacity? What does that look like for demand? How are we able to better forecast the amount of employees we need, the amount of services that we would need to make an impact on those secondary markets, and what that would do for us as far as return on investment, the time spent, the money spent, etc. The second part of this, we did people. And so we had 5 different goals here. We looked at a centralized versus traveling leadership team. We looked at expansion on Q knowledge. So how do we train our employees? We looked at the effectiveness and efficiency of contracting out staff for Q instead of keeping employees in-house. But we also looked at if we kept employees in, what do their compensation plans look like? Is it specific to the market that they're living in? Is it competitive to keep them there? And lastly, we looked at bonus structure for employees to keep them engaged, keep them doing a good job as well. So again, going through, we did the pros and cons of each of these. An overlaying theme of these goals are efficiency. So is a traveling leadership team more efficient than bringing employees to a centralized location to be trained? Is it more efficient to contract out employees rather than keep employees in-house? Is it more efficient to host webinars? Is that a best way to teach employees? And on the webinars and virtual trainings, we also looked at the learning curve for employees because everybody learns different, and we needed to see the pros and cons of doing webinars or virtual trainings. Do people need hands-on experience? Do people learn better working at their own pace? So those were some things we considered when going through our phase one goals for people. And then lastly, we discussed process. So in process, we had 3 different goals. Staff recognition process. We wanted to simplify and standardize the processes we used at all of our locations so that Q was performing the same at every location and in the same way. And lastly, we did promotional offers. So how do we drive business with promotions through clients? So definitely a couple more goals here, the pros and cons of each of these. In this way in particular, we use Six Sigma. So Six Sigma is a great way to kind of refine our current process. What are we doing well? How effectively does Q meet those requirements? Are we taking constructive feedback from employees and from customers? Are we analyzing that feedback? Are we improving on that feedback? And if we do, are we controlling what it looks like at the end? Are we monitoring the improvements? Are they working? Do employees and customers feel like we're working to better improve Q's skills? So we had a couple different processes here. Recognition first, exceptional work. improving the app that customers use to provide feedback or provide what they're looking for, provide ways to do promotional offers, and then build the common processes that can be used across locations. So we wanted to keep things simple and make sure that everything was streamlined.
Hi everyone, my name is Ritesh Sheth. I'm going to walk you through our phase one findings. First, we're going to walk through products. What were the changes that we made to the product, and what did we learn from them? So in terms of reviewing profit margin versus Q and the industry leaders, we learned that we needed to adjust our pricing models to meet different tier of cities. We also learned that combining low profit margin products with high profit margin products helped increase the customer profitability. And along with that, we learned that we needed to adjust pricing based on market demand to help be competitive within those markets. In terms of service location expansions, we decided to do two types of expansion. One is going to smaller cities because there's still a huge market out there, and there's a lot of demand to meet those services. And so we decided to move into Charlotte and Tampa. And then the second was, expanding in markets where our pre-existing customer already have presence. So meaning, since WeWork has a base in New York, but they also have a base in Charlotte, it also helped us to kind of gain their business in new market by increasing our presence in Charlotte. Second, I'm going to be talking about people, what did we learn in phase one, and the changes that we made. So first is traveling leadership. That has been a huge success. It's really helped us increase our customer morale. So we're going to move forward with this. In terms of centralized leadership, we learned that it really was not working. It created this disconnectedness. So we're going to discontinue that. In terms of contracting staff, the contracting staff was not working out too well. They weren't as committed in providing consistent service, so we're going to discontinue with that. In terms of promotional offers, the promotional offers have definitely helped, but through a different medium, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So to kind of help meet those demand, we needed to increase our cleaning crew so we can provide those services. The next is about standard process documents and marketing and operations. So that really helped. The only thing that we learned while doing that is that we needed to make adjustments for tier 2 markets to make sure they're as effective in those markets as well. The next is webinars. So the webinars have been a huge hit. So we're going to continue them as is. As for the virtual training, so the virtual training has been a huge success as well. But what we've learned is that along with providing virtual training, by getting our traveling leadership involved, it has been even more effective. So we're going to continue to provide this, but also incorporate that in-person training as well. The compensation plan adjustments. So as we created these new compensation plan, what we learned is that, based on the demand and the market rate for talent in different markets, we needed to make adjustments for those respective markets. So what we've done is we made those adjustments that for tier 1 market, we offer a certain salary just because the cost of living is different there, and tier 2 market we offer a certain salary and compensation because the cost of living is different there. The bonus structure for staff for exceptional work, that has been a huge success. It's kept the morale up and motivation up, so we're going to continue to incorporate that going forward. The next part focuses on process. So what do we learn and what are we going to change? So recognition for staff for exceptional work has lowered our attrition, and helped increase morale, and it has helped us retain our top talent. So we're going to continue to keep that going. We've started to incorporate customer review in app. We're seeing a greater number of interaction from our customers. So we're going to move forward with that as well. The promotional offer, increasing capacity through promotional offers, the mail offers really didn't work. We didn't have that much hit rate. But what did work is providing the add-on services through the app. So that has been a big success. So although we're going to discontinue the mail offers, we're going to continue to offer the add-on option within the app. Next is building the common processes. So that has been a huge success in terms of delivering our product consistently as possible. So we're going to keep that going, but we're going to revise that a little bit, for our tier 2 markets to help ensure that consistent service is provided throughout. The last is transitioning clients from app instead of an iPad. That has been a big transition for our company, and it's been a successful one. There have been some bumps, but we've been able to iron out the wrinkles within the process, and it's been a great hit because it's providing our customers flexibility to add reviews, add-on services on the go, then be constricted to an iPad that's on the wall. So we're definitely going to continue that going forward as well. So with that, I'll pass it on to Randy, who's going to walk you through our phase 2 process.
We focus on 3 major points. 1, the expansion of Q's offering into the lower tier cities such as Charlotte and Tampa. From there, we will continue to monitor the needs of current cities being serviced in addition to the new cities, as well as monitor the add-on requests for services to determine what services are utilized. 2, the pricing models will be adjusted based on the market demand and competitive availability. 3, we will review and monitor customer requests for add-ons for the existing customer base. Continuing through phase 2, the next focus is on people. We focus on several key initiatives. 1, continue having the leadership team travel. This provides valuable face time and in-person feedback. 2, continue webinars for learning opportunities. 3, for further learning opportunities, we plan to incorporate in-person hands-on trainings as well as virtual trainings to provide flexibility to the staff. 4, utilize direct hires only in lieu of independent contractors to ensure consistency with the Q brand. 5, we will continue to monitor the staffing capacity to ensure we are not under or overstaffed. 6, a standard process document will be developed and implemented for Tier 2 service locations as well as add-on service offerings to continue with brand consistency, but also allowing for the unique attributes of that market. 7, in order to minimize employee turnover, we will continue monitoring compensation plans to be in line with the industry and local market. 8, a no news is good news policy will be implemented for employee bonuses and will be monitored regularly. We wrap up phase 2 with the final goal. We honed in on the following key points. 1, the staff recognition problem will remain and continue to be monitored to find ways to evolve and improve. Customer reviews will be held via the app and other venues of feedback will be discussed. 3, add-on services will be developed to replace the previous promotional offerings. 4, we will continue with common processes across the cities that will incorporate a secondary set of processes that will apply to Tier 2 service locations. 5, an a la carte menu of add-on services will be launched to further allow customers to customize their service. This will be monitored on a regular basis. 6, the company will continue to promote app usage for existing customers and will implement the app for all new customers. Updates will be made across platforms. And as stated earlier in the presentation, our goals are to enhance the 3 pillars, increase market presence, build a stronger, more consistent team in production, and increase customer engagement through streamlining processes and technology. We believe that we've done all of that.
Hey everyone, this is Gabby Schultz. I'm going to be presenting the conclusion today. So, as stated earlier in our presentation, our goals are to enhance the 3 pillars, increase market presence, build a stronger, more consistent team in production, and lastly, increase customer engagement through streamlining process and technology. To help understand which processes we're going to continue and discontinue, I've put them all into a chart right here, and the green ones are the ones we're going to continue, and the red ones are the ones we are going to discontinue. So our goal for our product was to increase the number of new clients by 20% from 50 to 70% and decrease the attrition of existing clients by 5%. We were going to do all of this by the end of phase 2. And we were able to do this by reviewing the profit margin between the Q and industry leaders and making service level expansions. Our goal for people was to drive up customer satisfaction to 95% and drive down employee churn to 3% by developing and implementing a standard training workshop used universally. This will continue to be an asset as we expand within existing markets and grow into new markets. We were able to do this by utilizing a traveling leadership team, analyzing the effectiveness of contracting staff, increasing capacity with promotional offers, standardizing process documents for marketing and operations, utilizing webinars, utilizing virtual trainings, reviewing compensation plans and adjusting for each market, and lastly, implementing a bonus structure for staff for exceptional work. Our goal for process was to increase customer feedback from 20 to 50% and increase utilization of cleaning operators by 90% by transitioning to an app-based interaction system rather than an iPad system by 2024. We were able to do this by recognizing our staff for exceptional work, incorporating customer reviews within the app, building out common processes to be used at each location, and transitioning clients to the app instead of using the iPad. So we revert back to this question here. Should Q focus on acquiring more customers in their existing markets, increase revenue from existing customers by offering more services, or expand into new markets altogether? Ultimately, we've weighed the pros and cons of many different decisions regarding people, process, and product. We have definitive plans for the company in all 3 areas of expansion opportunity, as we've described throughout this entire presentation. More goals of ours were to enhance Q's market presence, build a stronger team that delivers consistent product, and increase customer engagement by streamlining existing processes through leveraging technology. We strongly believe that the decisions we've made have helped us drive positive results that have enabled Q to quickly expand in new markets while consistently increasing their profit margins. Our outlook for Phase 2 seems very promising as well. We've considered our findings from Phase 1 carefully and chosen to set realistic goals for ourselves in the upcoming years. We're extremely hopeful of this company's success in its future endeavors. And that is everything for us. We would like to thank you all for your time. Have a good night.